Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. I recently bought a Mercedes CLS shooting brake, and it made me realise we really don't value estate cars here in the UK. You know, most people are rushing around to buy some sort of SUV of some sort, when in most cases, a good estate car or station wagon or tourer would do the job perfectly well. In fact, not just do the job well, I think it would be better. I was at an SMMT test day a few months ago, and I had the pleasure of driving an Audi RS4 Avant around a track, and it was an awesome car, and it made me realise that's probably the perfect all-rounder. So today I thought I'd do a quick video on the best estate cars you can buy at various price points. So let's go shopping. Firstly then, let's give ourselves a budget of £5,000. Let's start off there. Okay, so we've got nearly 500,000 cars to choose from. Let's specify estate though, so down to body type. There are only 22,000 estate cars out of nearly 500,000 cars. That's mad. It tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it really? I mean, you think the saloon car is dead, but there are 33,000 saloon cars compared to 22,000 estates. Let's look at our options then. So, we've got Audi, Austin, BMW, Cadillac. Where should we start off? We may as well start with Audi then. Now, obviously, I'm not going to get an RS4 Avant for £5,000, but we'll find a nice... I mean, the A4 Allroad's a good car. There are 125 of those. I don't think £5,000 is going to be enough, though, to be honest. No, let's discount the Audi A4 Allroad because you can't get a good one for 5k. Let's look at an A6 Avant. I mean, look at that one, for example. It's only a grand this, and I wouldn't recommend you buy it, but it's done 292,000 miles. The attention grabber says it just keeps going. And that's what I mean about an estate car. They're just a really great workhorse. If you're looking for an A6 Avant, what I would recommend then is a 3 litre. So let's change the engine size from a 3 litre. There are 103. Now we're talking. So this one, for example, that's quite a local car. This is a 2011, so it's a facelift, so it's got the nice LED lights. It's an S-Line, it's got the nicer wheels. It's automatic. It's a 3 litre diesel, so 240 horsepower. It's done 111,000 miles, and it's 5,250. It's in what looks like Daytona grey. It's a good looking thing, that. And I know this is a 13-year-old car now, but you'll get many more years out of that. And for just over £5,000, that's an awful lot of car. And 111,000 miles isn't particularly high either. It's quattro, so it's all-wheel drive. And I just know exactly how that will drive. It'll be smooth and powerful, quick. That would probably, before I even look at anything else, that would probably be my choice. Let's head over to BMW then. So, you've got either the 3 Series estate or the 5 Series estate. Now what I'd recommend really, the 3 Series estate's a really good car. It's probably all the car you'd ever need. A 320 diesel will get you 50 miles per gallon and plenty of room in the boot for your kids things or dog or whatever it is that you do, or antiques if you're into that sort of thing. But what I would recommend is a 5 Series estate. I really don't think you can beat a good 5 Series touring. What I'd recommend really is an F11 model, so that ran from 2011 I think to 2017. Now you could go for a 520 diesel, but they can have timing chain issues, so I'd recommend going for a 530 diesel. They're not that much thirstier and they just provide you with an awful lot more power, and they're a bit more reliable. So we'll specify minimum engine size 3 litre. Here we go, right, now we're talking. Oh, look at this. This isn't sensible, but let's just have a look while we're here. It's an 11 owner E39, but it's a 540, which means it's got a 4.4 litre V8. It's done 162,000 miles. I couldn't recommend that because it'll be potentially a money pit. In fact, not even potentially. Definitely a money pit, but it's cool, isn't it? Let's get sensible, right. Let's look at 530 diesels for 5k. Now that's weird, isn't it? You can't get an F11 for that sort of money then.
Can you?
No, not an Australia. So for £5,000, all you're left with really is the previous shape, the E61. There's nothing wrong with that, but they're a bit sort of long in the tooth now, I think, aren't they? So you've got this one. This is a 2007 57 for 4,995. I mean, it looks the part still. However, I think you'd be better off spending 5,250 on the Audi A6. It's a nice spec though, that. No, let's discount that then. I can't recommend that for £5,000, forget it. Let's head over to Jaguar then. So, I was hoping to find an XF shooting brake, but there aren't any. Not for £5,000 anyway. All we've got are 3 X-type estates. Now I did a video with a gold one of these, a 3 litre V6 all-wheel drive Sovereign. I kind of wish I'd kept that car. It had a beige leather interior and a wooden steering wheel. Anyway, here's something similar. So it's a 2006 56 for 4,995. It doesn't look like great value, to be honest, does it? When you could buy a 2011 Audi A6 with the same sort of money. But they're very rare. And that 3 litre petrol V6 is very reliable. It's a chain-driven engine, it sounds nice. Oh, that's manual as well. That's unusual. The downside to that is it'll be in the high tax bracket. So let's forget that. I can't really recommend that. Mercedes-Benz, let's see what Mercedes have got then. Something like a nice E-Class perhaps. Now don't forget, I've still got my 3-litre filter on here, so it does narrow things down slightly. So this, for example, a 2011 E350, so that's a V6 turbo diesel. It's done 130,000 miles, which is a little bit high, granted. But it does look very nice, that. I think the A6 is better looking though, I must admit. Let me take out the engine size then. Go back to any. Because of course for £5,000, if you're on a budget and you want something as fuel efficient as possible, you really can't beat something like a VW Passat estate, or a Skoda Octavia estate, or a Skoda Superb estate even. I don't know whether I'd recommend this next car wholeheartedly for reasons regarding reliability, but the Vauxhall Insignia Estate is quite a good looking car. Excuse the noise, by the way, guys, I think somebody's playing in a door. Right, Vauxhall Insignia, this is a 2014 63. Yeah, that's playing in a door, I think. It's an old joke, this, but there's a guy I used to work with years ago, and I was driving along with him one day in the van, and he's like, well, he's from Bolton. Well, wife will be on the plane now. So where was she off to? Oh, no, she's just taking half inch off living room door. Right, anyway, this is a 2014 63 Vauxhall Insignia Estate. They are a good looking thing. So the Vauxhall Insignia Estate actually wouldn't be a bad idea. The road tax is cheap. I just worry that quite often with Insignias, people buy them because they're cheap. They can't necessarily afford to repair them, or they don't know anything about cars, so they just don't bother having them serviced. So then, by the time they get traded in with me, they're usually right at the end of their life. That would be my concern. If you find one that's been maintained well, then go for it. Let's increase our budget then to maybe £10,000. So at £5,000, I think my pick would be that first Audi A6 that I saw. 5,250, you might be able to get him down to £5,000. And I think that's an awful lot of car for £5,000. And that's kind of my point, it's everything that you'd want from a car really, and it isn't an SUV. So we'll increase the budget to £10,000 and let's see what that brings us. Right, let's look at our options then. So, I mean, kind of the same as before, however, this should open the door to things like the Jaguar XF. Let's look at this. So there are 91 XF estates. Now straight away this one's popped up, it's 9995, so it's at the top end of our budget, but that looks superb. It's an R Sport, so it's the sportier one. It's the 2.2 turbo diesel, which is a little bit agricultural, especially when it's cold. It's quite coarse, but when it warms up, they're all right. And they're quite a reliable engine. That's a nice colour as well, actually. I know in Land Rover that's called Loire Blue. I'm not sure about Jaguar. It's got all the black bits on it as well. That's a good looking car. I mean, I'd happily run around in something like that. It's a nice facelift model as well. So that for £10,000, and I know this is a cliche, so prepare yourself, but it is all the car you'd ever need. So we've got Jag XF Estate, that's an option. What else have we got? You don't want a Mazda 6 diesel, just avoid those. They've got that Sky Active diesel, they fail for fun. It'll cost you an arm and a leg. For £10,000, can you get a CLS? Right, there are 29 CLS shooting brakes. I love these. I've got a real soft spot for these cars. So this one, for example, is a 2.1 turbo diesel, which is as old as the hills, but they are quite reliable. It's 8995, it's done 98,000 miles. It's an AMG line, so it looks quite sporty. It's got the nice LED lights, tow bar. It's a 2013 63. It's just a really cool looking thing. This era of CLS as well has got a really nice interior. I think it's aged really well. So that's an option. What else? I'll tell you what, now we've increased the budget, let's go back to BMW and try and find a nice F11 530D. There are 178, so we'll have engine size minimum 3 litre. There are 38. They're still quite strong money. I mean, look at this one. This is 8995 and it's done 144,000 miles. I mean, it looks good, don't get me wrong, but it's a lot of miles for that sort of money, really, isn't it? Not only is someone on the plane, someone's also singing along to Mamma Mia. Very noisy office building, isn't it, this? Right, we've got a 2011 528i M Sport Touring. So this one's a petrol 3 litre straight 6. One word of warning with BMW petrols of this era, they can pop injectors for fun. And they're quite expensive. You'd be talking sort of £250 per injector. And obviously on a 6-cylinder like that, you don't need to be Carol Vorderman to work out. There are 6 of them. You know, I don't think I could recommend a 530D. I think they're too expensive for what they are. I don't think that represents good value for money at all. So far, then, my money would be on Jaguar or Mercedes-Benz. Okay, next then, I think we'll increase the budget to 20k. Let's make things interesting, shall we? Before we do though, I just need to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Surfshark. Now if you haven't heard of Surfshark before, they're a VPN service provider, so they help to keep you safe while you're online. Whether that's online banking or online shopping, they hide your IP address so cyber thieves can't view it. In addition to that, it blocks malware, phishing, ads and other kinds of nastiness which in turn can spin at your bandwidth and make your device run much more smoothly. The last thing I want to do is have my credit card details stolen or have my bank account hacked into, and since I've been using Surfshark, touch wood, that just hasn't happened. Another good thing about Surfshark is you can change your location settings so you can watch your favourite content from online streaming services like Netflix, even if it isn't available in your area. You know, sometimes you want to watch a show or film and it says it isn't available. Well, with Surfshark you can change your location settings so that it thinks you're in a different territory, then all of a sudden it becomes available. Very clever. You can download it very easily from the App Store and you can use it on multiple devices. It's cheap and easy to use. We're all online a huge amount of time these days and you just don't know how much information you're putting out there, so it's better to be protected rather than not. Especially if, like me, you frequently use public Wi-Fi at train stations, airports, fast food restaurants, that sort of thing. If you're interested in checking out Surfshark and you want to get an even better deal, then don't forget to use my promo code HighPeakAutos, all one word, and you'll get 3 months extra totally free. Or alternatively, click the link below in the video description, or just visit surfshark.deals/HighPeakAutos. It couldn't be easier. Well, thanks Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to the search. So now we're talking up to £20,000. You know what I'm going to look at quickly here, because I've just had an idea. I saw one of these as a traffic police car the other day, a Ford Focus ST Estate. Let's see if we can find a nice one of those. So Ford Focus, and then we want... What engine do they have? I think it's a 2.5, isn't it? Minimum engine size, 2 litre. Petrol. Ah, you see, look at these, now we're talking. So this, for example, this is a 2016 66, it's 12,995. That looks really cool, you know, doesn't it? Obviously the downside to this is that the ride will be quite firm, and some of the interior plastics and stuff are quite, well, plasticky. Don't think you're buying an Audi A6 or a 5 Series because the build quality just isn't as good. But it is something a bit unusual, isn't it? You know, if you're used to having a hot hatch or something and you suddenly, you know, found yourself with a couple of kids and a dog, that's probably the way to go. This one, for example, looks quite good in black. That's a good looking car, you know. So that's 12,250, right, what else could we buy then? Let's look at Volvo V90s then, because I imagine for 20 grand, you'd be able to get a really nice one. And there we go. Straight away, I've seen one, a T4 Momentum Plus automatic, done 51, 2019 69. It's for sale at a Volvo main dealer in Leeds. Looks quite cool in white, actually. They're a nice interior, those. Every single time I drive one of those V90s or S90s, I think this is kind of the perfect car. It's the perfect car for somebody that's not into cars, if that makes sense. Let's not forget Volvo is kind of the original estate as well, isn't it? When you think of a estate car, you automatically think Volvo, I think. There were lots of thinks in that sentence, weren't there? Now sadly they're all 4-cylinders, they don't do a 5-cylinder anymore. So even things like that one, where it says a D5, isn't a D5. Or it isn't a traditional D5 anyway, it's a 4-cylinder. Not that there's anything particularly wrong with that. And that looks really cool. They're a big car though, they are a big old bus. Such a classy interior though. So yeah, probably a V90 I guess. Of course if you want to spend up to 20k, we can't forget the Skoda Superb. I love the Skoda Superb estate. It's a bit too sensible for my taste, to be honest, but I mean look at this. This is 19.5 grand. It's a Laurent and Clement DSG. It's a 2018 done 43,000 miles. And it's a good looking thing that, isn't it? It really is, and I'm gonna say it again. It's all the car you'd ever need. Yeah, I do like those. And look at the rear legroom. You get more legroom in a Skoda Superb than you do in a Mercedes S-Class. Oh, there's one there in green, look at that. That's nice. That's really cool. Got a nice panoramic roof, LED lights. That's a really smart looking thing, isn't it? So you've got plenty of choice really at 20k. Okay then, right, let's throw caution to the wind and increase the budget to, what should we do? 50k? 50k, let's see if we can buy something high performance. So from 20k to 50k, let's see what our options are. Ah, I'd forgotten about these cars, right. Eyes down looking. Porsche Panamera, this is a 2.9 turbo. This is a 4S Sport Turismo. 434 brake horsepower, and it's 43 grand. That's a cool car, you know. I was never sold on the styling, and I'm still not, to be honest, but I think I could tolerate it because you just know how well that will drive. I love this semi-digital dash as well. It's exactly the same as the one on my 718 Boxster. Let's try and find a nice RS4 then. Now, what I wouldn't recommend you do, under any circumstances, by the way, I hope you're listening to this, don't buy a cheap RS4 or an RS6 because it will have just been battered. But if you've got a healthy budget of maybe 50k, then I kind of would recommend it. I'd still try and buy one approved used from an Audi dealer though, and then you get the belt and braces warranty. That's what I would recommend you do. Let me change this from price high to low because I'd just be terrified about buying something like this. I just think you might be buying a complete headache. So look at this one, for example. This one's for sale at Crawley Audi. That's near Gatwick Airport, isn't it, Crawley? It's a 2020 70 reg, done 44, and most importantly, it's approved used, so it'll come with a proper warranty. I don't really like the full sort of moded out look, to be fair, but each to their own. It's kind of the perfect car, that, you know, because it's the perfect size. It isn't too big to park, but it's still a very practical, spacious car to get all your family and pets in. And trust me when I say this, it goes like a stabbed rat, like a scolded cat. There we go, family-friendly version of what I was about to say. They're awesome cars. That would genuinely, well, a new one of those would tempt me out my Range Rover. Before we head away from Audi, let me show you the S6. Let's forget the RS6, I think that's too much, but the S6, weirdly though, as everyone kind of goes away from diesel, Audi with the S6 are still plugging away with the 3-litre turbo diesel, and it's an awesome engine. So this, if you did lots of motorway miles, is kind of the perfect car. So it's 350 brake horsepower, it's quattro. This is a 2021 in what looks like scuba blue, metallic. That's really cool, you know. It's kind of, I love how discreet it is. What I like about that is it's sort of like it's a bit of a stealth well thing. It's like Lexus or Volvo, or a Patek watch, or a Rimowa suitcase. It's that kind of thing. It says it all without saying a single thing. I like that. What if you wanted a stupid AMG? So let's look at maybe an E63. Oh, look at that, right. So this is a 2019 E63 V8 bi-turbo S. It's 47,995, so it is a lot of money, granted, but that's very cool. That'll be the same engine then as my AMG GTS, which is too much. It's too much car, to be honest. That thing used to terrify me, if I'm honest. Although, having said that, I think it would be better in this because this one's 4MATIC, so it's all-wheel drive, and it's a heavier car. In my old AMG GTS, you just couldn't put the power down. If it was wet, for example, I just didn't dare take it out. Let's head back to Porsche then, because I've just spotted a Porsche Taycan. Now, I'm not a big pure EV fan. I prefer plug-in hybrids as opposed to a full EV. I think they're just too impractical. But you just can't deny the value that that represents. So that's a 2021. Oh, look at that interior. That's really cool. I do quite like the Taycan Turismo. I think it looks quite interesting. I'm not going to say it looks good or it's good looking, because it's not good looking, but it's so ugly that it's kind of works, if that makes any sense at all. It's only done 32,000 miles and it's 49,499. Now what's interesting is that car 3 years ago would have been £120,000. It's lost so much money. So I just couldn't do a video like this and not mention the Taycan. I think we've exhausted all the estate cars, you know, guys. Like I said, there just aren't that many out there, are there? That's the weird thing. And as I said at the start of this video, it's kind of all the car you'd ever need. I was just having a nosy then to see whether you could buy a decent M5. However, they're way too much money. They're so inflated. I mean, look at this one. This one's a 2007, done 88,000 miles, so it isn't exactly low, and it's 32 grand. And that's one of the least reliable cars you can buy. They suffer with all sorts of stuff, so no, don't go anywhere near an old V10 M5. Well, I think that's about it then. I think I've rattled off all the estate cars that I would buy with my own money at various price points, but if you can think of any yourself, then do let me know in the comments below. So thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. I'll leave the links below. And yeah, cheers guys. See you next time.